Hello and welcome to Trope on a Rope, a special edition of Trope on a Rope, a mini trope on a mini rope, with me, Jeff, and my co-host, Mr. Colin Gerard. Hello.
Hello, was that three people?
Three, very possibly. Over this festive period, we're having a bunch of mini episodes where we are talking about long-running franchises, their current state, and what should be done with them. We've covered Marvel so far. We did Star Wars. And this week we're doing Simpsons. And I only realized this the other day, that all three of these are now Disney, but didn't start that way.
Yeah, Simpsons used to be Fox, right?
Simpsons was Fox, yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars was Fox and LucasArts. And then what was the other one that we were talking about? MCU was Marvel. But yeah, fuck.
Yeah, Disney's just eating everything up, isn't it?
I was also planning on asking you about Indiana Jones, and then I was just like, "Oh shit, that's Disney as well." Fucking hell! There's lots of things that when people talk about Disney properties and online, and then all the comments are like, "Oh, you a fucking shill for Disney then?"
No, it's just difficult to avoid, unfortunately.
Can we get money for this? Yeah, well, so far we've said most of their stuff is shit. So
yeah. Like other than buying up other people's shit and then saying it's theirs, they're just remaking the stuff that they used to do.
Yeah,
have they actually made a good original story in recently?
that's the thing. So people were. I saw this on the internet a while ago, where people were saying, "Oh, like a lot of their films are shit recently," and I'm like, if you look back,
they were always shit.
Were always shit. Yeah, there's loads of like examples of films that they've made in the past that are complete bollocks.
Like Bud, the superhero dog that plays random sports. What the fuck?
Air Bud.
What the fuck was that about?
Because we talked about it when we were talking about John Carter.
Yeah,
because that was a fucking a miss, wasn't it? And then the Lone Ranger. So I've got Google open in another window. Just
was it Lone Ranger as in Johnny Depp's Lone Ranger?
Johnny Depp and that guy that eats people, Army Hammer.
Huh?
He turned out to be a cannibal. It was
Did he?
funny. Yeah. So we're talking about the Simpsons.
Yeah. Were you a big fan of the Simpsons when you're in the 90s when it was relevant?
It's a good question. Well, I used to watch it. What was it? It was on.
I used to watch it on Sky One.
I watched it on BBC Two. It was on like 6 or 7 o'clock, like after the news.
Yeah, it used to go like it would come. I can't remember which way around, but it would be on BBC Two, and just as that episode finished, then the Sky One episode would come on.
Yeah, so BBC had like ones that were like years old, and then Sky would have like the current series.
Yeah.
I was stupid, it turns out, when I was young, because I didn't like the old series, mainly because of the poor animation.
Yeah. I can understand why. Like, if you watch it now, it does look a bit shit.
I like the middle series, like the low tens, low teens. Sorry,
I'd agree with you, to be honest.
Yeah, because the animation picked up. It was still kind of funny. Well, it was funny to my young dumb mind, and then it kind of dropped into complete irrelevancy to me. Like I would see it, like nowadays they play it on Channel 4 or again Sky Max.
For a while, it seemed like they just stopped coming up with new ideas, and they were just playing off the ideas that they'd already had. Like, Homer's fat. We'll just make that part of every single episode.
I remember when I was young, it seemed that Bart was the main character.
Yeah,
and it's pivoted to Homer.
Yeah, and like Lisa was minor character, but with every now and then she'd have her own episode. And Maggie, for some reason, is always a baby. She's 34 years old, for fuck's sake.
So it has a floating timeline. I did look this up a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
It has a floating timeline, so it's always basically set in the era that it's made.
90s. What?
No. So if it's an episode is made now.
Oh, I see.
Then it's set now.
Okay.
and everyone stays the same age. And then if you have flashbacks, the flashbacks are also floating relative to when the episode was made.
Yeah.
If they have a flashback of like Grandpa Simpson, in the originals it would flash back to the 50s, but now it flashbacks to the 80s.
Which is which is weird.
What about you then? So where's Simpsons been in your life?
So Simpsons was my the show I used to watch when I get home from school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch it. It was never like my favorite thing. Yeah, my parents absolutely hated me watching it because for some reason they just thought, I don't know, it was bad influence or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't think before Simpsons they didn't really have that kind of cartoon where it's more adult humor. I mean, looking at Simpsons now, it's not really adult humor.
Oh, it's tame as shit, isn't it?
Yeah, but like back in when it was first made, it was like South Park when South Park came out.
Yeah, they acted like it was South Park and shit, but now it's like, because my son watches Simpsons on Disney Plus like all the fucking time, and he likes the really new episodes, and
Yeah, you're getting back to my main point.
He watches all the really new episodes, and I try and get him to watch, because I can watch the old, like the first few seasons of like the bad animation ones, and I can see I get the jokes now because I'm not a young idiot. But yeah, watching those, like, yeah, I see why he doesn't like it, because they make references to things that he could never fucking know about.
Exactly. Pop culture. Like Simpsons is full of pop culture references. So,
but it is tame. I remember the fact that I know like the history of it, and that people got like, even like the president was like, "Oh, you should be like the Waltons and not like the Simpsons," and stuff like that. But the Simpsons are like fine compared to a lot of TV cartoon families.
yeah.
Family Guy's fucked. The Griffins are fucked. South Park's messed up.
My parents are just what you'd imagine. They've never actually seen an episode of it, but they've heard somewhere from like on the news or something it's been mentioned, and therefore they know for a definite fact it's evil.
My parents watched it with me because like it was like a thing. Like, so we watched like not like the Simpsons. The Simpsons sit at a dinner table for their meals, don't they? Most of the time. But no, we watched TV whilst eating dinner.
Yeah, we did as well. But we all sat down at a table. We just also had a TV in the room.
So we sat watching the telly whilst eating dinner, and the the unspoken deal was, I'll sit through the news, 6 o'clock news, if we can watch The Simpsons at 8 afterwards.
Exactly the same situation at my house. But at first we didn't have that agreement. Well, tacit agreement, I guess. But like my parents were adamant that I'm not allowed to watch it. I finally, like after like a couple of years, I finally got them to watch one episode. And they really liked it. They're like, "Oh,
yeah,
this isn't what we expected at all." It's like, exactly. Maybe watch it before you form an opinion, Mum and Dad. Jesus.
It has like what you said earlier about like its relevancy, and like just the quality of its writing has just dropped off.
Yeah, like you said, the writing has dropped off. But for me, the thing that was even more annoying than that, like the writing's becomes old, stale. They're just rehashing the same joke over and over again. But the thing that really, you can tell that the writing's bad from the voice actors' voices. They seem bored. Like you know, when you watched it in the 90s, they were all like always seemed really excited about the job they're doing, and you can hear it in their voices that they actually enjoyed the jokes that they were telling. They thought they were funny. You can actually hear in their voices in the episode I watched today. They're just like, "Yep, it's that joke again." Ah, fuck's sake. They also seem to have forgotten how to tell a story.
Yeah,
like I was at that episode that I watched today. They reference things that haven't actually happened in the episode or any episode before. Like they don't set up the joke. They just go, it's like, and that's where they all died. What? They just go for the punchline without actually explaining any part of it. And then they, like Family Guy, they then just skip into the next scene, which seems really loosely random as fuck.
So I saw this episode the other week, and Ezra was watching it, and I immediately thought this is a shit version of another better episode.
Yeah, and well, at first I didn't get what you meant when I was watching the second one,
Yeah.
but when I watched it, I was like, oh, I see. Oh yeah, I get the link.
So, for benefit of the audience, so I said two episodes. One was Series 8, Episode 11, The Twisted World of Marge Simpson. It's the Pretzel Wagon one. And then Season 34's Episode 13, The Many Saints of Springfield. So in the Marge one, Marge's pretzel wagon business isn't doing very well. So Homer turns to the mob to get help,
Obviously, as you would.
as you do, and then consequences arise. In the Many Saints of Springfield, the modern one, the Leftorium isn't doing well, so Flanders turns to the mob, but doesn't realize that they're the mob. He thinks there's something else, which is a funny situation.
Yeah, it's just really badly done. Like some
They
of the
didn't do anything with it.
I know, right? They presented that got that possible gobbledygook, and then they went, and now the next thing. Can you just develop that fucking joke that you made? Because that could have been good.
Yeah, so like the fact that he doesn't understand, even like when they try to make funny things, like
He doesn't get innuendo.
he doesn't get innuendo, or he goes to the bathroom when they start talking about like fucked up shit, and then that's the thing. When he comes back in, they stop talking about the murder. Well, so we were just talking about murders. I mean something else. That's all that they do.
That's another thing. I was talking about the murders. I mean, why something else? Why didn't he say something funny there? Insert something funny, not something else. It's just lazy.
It would have been 1,000 times better if, like, they're just carrying on as normal, and then he's just missing it by happenstance.
Yeah, that would have been fantastic. Like they're still talking the same way they always do. Like, well, we left him sleeping with the fishes. So, well, sleeping with fishes. That's a really, really, really random sleeping arrangement.
You must work in an aquarium or something. It's just.
Like, oh god! Well, we gave him lead shoes. That would be really difficult to walk in.
Yeah, stuff like that, but they don't. They don't do any of that bollocks.
They replace all of that with something else. What? That's how fight. What?
Like the scene in the original one where Fat Tony comes up to Homer in the bathroom at Moe's and just says, "We did you a favor, now you have to do a favor." And Homer's like, "You only did a favor?
Yeah, that was
because
brilliant.
You expected one in return? Fat Tony, I shall say good day to you, sir."
And Fat Tony feels really bad. He goes, "Oh shit!" And he walks out. Like, oh wait, well, how the fuck?
Only outside is he like, "Hey, wait a minute."
See?
But in this one, like Ned Flanders goes up to him and just goes, "Fat Tony." "No, that's not your name. Anthony. Mama called me Anthony." And I'm like, is there a joke at some point? And then they just talk about Jesus for a bit, like actually seriously talk about Jesus for a bit, and then at the end he just goes, "I'm just going to shoot you."
They do that thing randomly where, like, they do the kiss on the cheek that Italians do when you're becoming really good friends. Oh, you're amazing, and then like Ned kisses on the lips. A, that wasn't just not funny. B, completely irrelevant, and C, they didn't do anything with it afterwards. They just and we'll just randomly have just for no reason. Ned just randomly kisses the mafia boss. Okay, what is this going to develop into some more comedy gold, or is oh no, you're just going to stop it right there and just a random thought you had.
Yeah, he just goes, "It was the kiss of death," and then he just doesn't do anything else about it.
Yeah, and then it just never develops from there. It was just, why did you add that if there's nothing that comes from it? It's just like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if he kissed? It just feels like two 16-year-olds. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
And why would he kiss?
Yeah.
Why would Ned Flanders kiss him on the lips?
I mean, they could have played into the fact that he's misunderstanding the speech thing as well. He also misunderstanding social cues, but they don't tie those things together. They don't develop either of them. It's just like I say, it's like two idiot fucking teenagers making. Wouldn't it be funny?
They also do this thing of they have this weird framing device of like it's already started. The hits against Ned have started.
Yeah, which was also not referenced later very much.
And then they talk, and then he tells the story back to the Simpsons next door.
Yeah.
'Cause all of his stuff is catching fire, and then he goes next door to tell the Simpsons, and then we find out what's happening, and he tells this story. They do this a lot in new episodes as well, as having these weird framing devices, because the story from start to finish is just fucking boring.
Yeah. And also the fact that the episode started like that, he's being like assassination attempts. At the end of the episode, when they have like the triad turn up, well, not the triad, the is it
No, that's in the good one.
The Yakuza. Oh, shit! Sorry.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Do they reference the fact that he's no, because they don't end up even trying to kill him
yeah. He goes to their office.
because they get arrested. They get arrested.
Yeah,
So all of that stuff that happened at the beginning didn't actually happen.
yeah. So it's
What? I'm confused.
no, it did. It did.
I'm confused.
They're trying to kill him. They're trying to kill him. That's why all of his shit starts catching on fire, and he's got a fire extinguisher made of fire, which was quite funny actually. That bit.
That was funny. Oh yeah, okay.
And then he goes to the Simpsons, and he tells the Simpsons the story of what happened. And then he's in hiding around the Simpsons, and they try and kill him at the Simpsons, but he's not there at the Simpsons because he's gone to their office to confront Fat Tony, and in fact just get Fat Tony arrested.
So the entire timeline of this story is about like what, one day, if you don't count the flashback of him telling the story. There's basically the story.
Apart from the flashback, yeah.
So the actual entire story, it takes place in about 4 or 5 hours, maybe.
The story device of the flashback and telling Simpsons the story is just to hide the fact that it's kind of a shit story, but it's still not hideable because it's shit.
Yeah.
But they do this a lot in these episodes, in these recent episodes, where in the old ones they would just tell, and I love a good framing device. Don't get me wrong. If you go home tonight thinking that I don't like them, you'd be wrong. But the way that they do them, they do use them like a crutch, and they're so fucking bad. Shall we talk about the good one then?
Yeah, I mean, I do love bitching and moaning, but yeah.
Yes, so the pretzel wagon one is like Marge is in an investor group with
Agnes,
Maud Flanders.
I don't like Maud Flanders.
Milhouse's mum, Helen Lovejoy. She gets kicked out because she's not being risky enough, and then goes to a job fair. I love the fact that the franchise she buys, because you just have to make the pretzels yourself.
Yeah.
That is just like you could have just done that without paying the guy $500.
But I also just like the convention, the franchise convention was brilliant.
Yeah,
just the way they try to. It's just like they just nailed it. Brilliant.
Like the crooked paintings guy is just...
give you a list of possible questions you might be asked, like why are you here?
And what are you doing in my house? They go to Fleeta Pitta, which is ethnic food at the time.
Bread pockets
and
crunch patties.
And the guy's like leaning out of the truck speaking whatever language, and he's like, that's our chef, Christopher. That's already like, it's like one scene, it's like 10 jokes. And yeah, they make some old references that we don't get anymore, like the guy that they kill at the ball game. When Mr. Burns, he wins that car.
Oh yeah.
And everyone throws the pretzels at him. And then like one of the players comes, something whitey, he comes out to beg for calm, and then he gets buried under the... You could call them whitey whackers. And then like some of the things are true, like they have the thing with the Yakuza at the end, and then there's just like that one guy who doesn't do anything, but is going to be fucking awesome when it happens.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, he hasn't done anything yet. You know he's gonna do, when he does something, he's gonna be awesome.
Then he dives through the window later, and he's just like, my apologies, and then he runs out. Oh, it's a fucking funny episode.
And like they're only selling pretzels for $1, and everyone in the line is like, I think I'll have a
I could go for and like, hurry up! I want to get my pretzel. Ah, pretzel. It's like everyone in the line does it.
There's just so many jokes. It's just one after another, after another, after another. Whereas the other one, the season 34 one, it's just a boring TV show.
Yeah.
There's no jokes in it whatsoever. The only joke that I saw that I thought was even vaguely funny was the was when Chief Wiggum's like, "Oh, we can't cross because it says police line do not cross," and it's like, "No, we're allowed to." That was the only joke that I thought was in there.
Do you get what I say about that? When you listen to the characters' voices, like the voice actors just don't sound like they believe in it.
The guy who does Homer, Dan Castellaneta, he is a consultant producer on that show now. His name's in the credits right at the beginning. So he gets a lot of sway. He should have had, like, if you were, you demand better lines, right?
Yeah, it's like they don't care anymore.
They don't care. They're just going through it. And they're insanely well paid. But there's not the quality anymore. Like even the opening, the couch gag at the beginning, where it's like quite a long one about the cloth animation thing.
Yeah, which was really, really random.
It was really, really, really random. There isn't a single joke in it.
No, the joke,
In
the
that
joke,
entire sequence.
the only joke is the entire situation. That's the only joke.
There's the thing where he picks up a dime and is it a dime? He picks up 1 cent coin and he says, you're no use up there and you're no use down here either." And he makes a big fucking deal of it. And I'm like, is that a joke?
No.
Why are you saying any of this? Why are you doing any of this? You beat up
like,
a Rubik's.
Yeah,
Why?
then he goes, "Oh, my favorite." I can't remember what he says, but it's like my favorite childhood item, this baseball card, and they, "Oh, my favorite childhood item, the Rubik's cube." Is that a joke?
That's just the closest that they get.
It's like what everything was your favorite. You can't decide, or you. It's not funny.
I think it's absolute fucking bullshit. I hate you, The Simpsons. I can't stand it. And I'm like, I want my son to watch the old ones. But yeah, I get that he won't get the references, but fucking hell.
You don't need to.
Yeah, I agree. Like, so there's this thing about the fact that the list of showrunners for The Simpsons, like everyone agrees that the heyday was in like the late tens, early teens ish.
Yeah,
of the show, which is bad for a show that has 34 seasons.
yeah, because like
Back when,
even
yeah,
even South Park went through it. They went through
yeah,
a few seasons where they either seems like they run out of ideas or they were just too random or it was not very good.
yeah.
But they brought it back and reinvented themselves and went.
There are certain shows that you can tell when like the writers' room changes or the showrunners change or the producers change, that you can sense like the change in dynamic in the show. Like I like American Dad, like early seasons, but recent seasons like that, I know that there are new writers on it because I recognize the names from people from when Cracked was a good website for a little bit. They're working on American Dad now, but it's gotten weird and it's shifted and it's not quite as good.
Yeah, because I remember you saying that you really liked that show. I remember I hadn't really watched much of it because the first few episodes I didn't like at all, and the characters hadn't really developed themselves, so I just stopped watching it. But yeah, I watched all of them, and I was like, at the end of it, I was like, "Is this what Jeff was talking about?" I don't think this is the kind of thing that he'd like. Earlier seasons were really good, but now you say that, it makes more sense.
Yeah, so yeah, recent series are just like absolute bollocks. But looking at the list of showrunners, so people say that the like first maybe 15-ish seasons are okay. So the showrunners were changing constantly. Like Matt Groening, the creator, was one of the showrunners. So when you're watching The Simpsons, when it says Matt Groening, James L. Brooks, Sam Simon on the TV at the beginning, they were the showrunners at the beginning of the show for the first two seasons. They ran it, so they're producers now. The showrunners change frequently until season 13, season 13 to 31 was one guy called Al Jean.
Huh. So that's maybe why maybe having more showrunners. That's why they had better
More-
jokes, more ideas bouncing around
More
the room.
showrunners, yeah. So yeah, this one guy seems to be like the main person responsible for the Simpsons getting kind of shit and shitter over the years. And now since Disney, it's him and another guy called Matt Selman. But you know, they're 2 seasons into the Disney era and it's still shit.
Hmm.
Or even worse.
There was moments in the second the newer episode
Mm.
where it just really frustrated me. Like when Homer's in the bar and he gets held down against the bar,
Yeah.
and then he eats a chip off the table. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that scene that really irritated me, but maybe it was the pause before he did it, or lazy joke, or why, or I don't know. It was just I didn't find it funny at all.
His toad tongue grabbing nearby food
Hmm.
has been done multiple times.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah,
He's done it loads of times.
but it's just the way they execute it. I don't know what. Like I said, I can't nail down what it is that irritated me about it. But when I watched it, I just went, what?
It's like they're just like a hair, they're just a hair away from a good joke, and then they miss it.
Yeah,
And you don't know what the good joke could have been, but you know that it was there. If you just kept working on it, maybe just kept pushing for it, you could have got it. But then they're just like, I don't know, they have to make like 10 of these in a short space of time, so they just shit them out.
Hmm.
But fucking hell, yeah, no, oh, God, the Simpsons. So to wrap this up, what do you think should happen with the Simpsons? Should they just
stop.
they just stop?
Yeah, or at least get some new showrunners, some new ideas.
I think if a show gets to the point where like everyone is I say everyone, the common consensus is that it's long since past its heyday and that it's kind of unbearable and kind of unwatchable. I think it's unwatchable.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it was my idea to watch these two things and I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have that preconception because I haven't seen the new ones. But when I was watching, I was like, Jesus, only 5 minutes has passed. Fucking hell.
Fucking Jeff owes me for this. Yeah, no, it's fucking unbearable. I can't stand them. There's some that my son watches. So I'm just like, please, just fucking, can we just do anything? Can we just sit in silence and stare at a blank screen? Oh my God. Rather than watch this bloody episode.
And like, yeah, they should just can it, or like maybe they could go the entire opposite way and completely reinvent it. Like, even change the characters' ages, or I don't know, the spin-off, the Flanders.
Yeah, do the Flanders is, or do other shows. I mean, like they've got Futurama. Futurama was fine.
I like Futurama.
Disenchantment isn't. Disenchantment's fucking terrible.
Oh, is that the like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, it has moments of brilliance. But Disenchantment, for some reason, it's got this thing about there's long scenes of the main characters just running around corridors in every episode.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Not even like Scooby-Doo. It's just like you would just normally you would just cut to the scene where you get you cut to the destinations, but they don't. Like it's really it has its moments, but yeah, mostly it's the shittest. It's shit, but it's better than present day Simpsons.
High praise.
In fact, yeah, high praise indeed. Holy shit! Yes, no, Disenchantment is better than modern day Simpsons. Holy shit! And
I don't fucking doubt it.
Disenchantment is sometimes barely watchable. But yeah, modern day Simpsons is unwatchable. It's fucking awful.
Do you think that, I mean, like if they decided they're not going to can it, and do you think it is redeemable? Like, do you is it possible that they could somehow turn it around and become both relevant and funny again.
I don't know. Would it be worth changing the timeline so that Lisa and Bart were adults?
That's what I was. That's what I was saying. Like changing the
Yeah.
ages of them. Maggie's their age now.
No, Maggie would also be an adult.
I mean, like if you made a Bart, yeah, I mean, like Maggie would be Lisa's age in the old ones. She'd be like a little girl, like 10 years old or something.
Maggie's. How old is Maggie?
She's only like 2, I think.
So she like if you like so Homer's 39.
Homer becomes more like a grandpa, closer to grandpa's age.
So Homer's 39. So if you had Homer grandpa's age and Bart is Homer's age, Lisa's like 2 years younger than her, and then Maggie's in her late 20s.
Oh, okay.
No, Maggie would be in her early 30s. And then they all have their own kids.
That would work.
And then you have two Simpsons families that they both still live in Springfield, and that maybe like Bart still lives in Springfield, but he does quite well for himself. Like he's got like a little local business and stuff like that.
Lisa and Bart's roles reverse. Lisa's turned into a fucking renegade, and Bart's got married and whipped.
I'm thinking Bart lives locally, and that he has like a local business. Like he runs Moe's. He's taken over Moe's.
And people are calling him with the fucking names.
Oh my god, yes!
and he's totally not getting it.
Because it's all like modern references to shit that he doesn't get.
Yeah, like you got the Gen Z speech. He's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He gets those robot phone calls, the scam ones, but he always falls for it.
Yeah.
Lisa has like grand ambitions and shit
to become a musician, jazz musician, whatever.
But nothing ever came from it.
Or is it because she's really intelligent, right? She's really intelligent. She's capable of many things, so she keeps trying to reach for different things instead of just focusing on one thing and achieving it.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah. So she ends up as a fucking elementary teacher.
Or like every episode, she goes, "Actually, I'm not doing that job anymore. Now I'm a marine biologist."
So she works at the elementary school, but every now and then she keeps quitting to get a job as like a marine biologist,
and
but
follow her new dream.
Follow her new dream, but just keeps biffing it. And then their kids in school, they both have their own kids in school, and then they keep having like substitute teachers because Lisa keeps fucking off.
One of the substitute teachers is Ralph. What's the kid's name? He's like, I ate my boogers.
Yeah, that's Ralph.
That's Ralph, is it? I thought Ralph was the bully.
No, that's Nelson. Who in
okay.
some future version, most future versions, he marries Lisa.
Really?
Yeah,
that's odd.
Yeah, no, they do have kind of a romance going on. Who else? And fucking Milhouse is the mayor.
No, because Milhouse always gets that kind of role where he becomes like a bureaucrat or a politician.
All right, okay.
Something that was slightly off the wall for him would be interesting. He's like an extreme skateboarder or something. He's secretly Banksy.
He's the town celebrity because because they still have Rainier Wolf Castle. Yeah, you need to replace that, but that's Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a good reference anymore. Not because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but because he's like 80. Millhouse, because he was in that Radioactive Man film. He got kind of. He gets into Hollywood or something, and he comes back every now and then as the like when he's acting, he like projects strength and shit like that. But when he's talking as him, he's just as frail as fuck as he normally is. Once you say cut, he's just back to, oh my god, has like imposter syndrome and all that kind of shit. Oh fuck.
He plays there's the cop show in The Simpsons. They have I can't remember what it's called. Plays one of those guys, the really aggressive cop, and they're like, cut. Did I do a good job? Was it okay?
Did I do a good job? He's like pistol whipping fools left, right, and center, and it's just like, are you okay? Did I hurt you?
One of my favorite characters as well. I don't even know why, but the principal.
Yeah, what can the principal do? Skinner.
Yeah, I assume Burns is dead. Skinner is the new Burns.
Because
and the Welsh caretaker is Smithers.
Welsh.
He's Welsh. Oh, is he Scottish? Is he?
He's Scottish. Yes.
Same thing.
No, right. The care home. The care home is filled with Homer, Willie.
I've just got an idea. Like Burns,
it's a spin-off on it by itself, actually.
but Burns has been he's got like a bit of dementia. Where he's way too old, close to death. He's in a retirement home now. He's not the millionaire, but he is just doing a microcosm of his former greatness in the shitness of a retirement home.
I personally think he'll be dead.
No, the Burns can't die.
He'll be head in a jar. Oh, it's a Futurama prequel.
Advisor
head in a jar, and he's doing what you said. Yeah, all right. He's a head in a jar. So in the old folks' home, it's Homer, Willie, Skinner,
Mrs. Crabapple.
Miss Crabapple died years ago.
Did she?
Yeah, well, the voice actress died, so they killed the character off. Flanders has the room next to Homer.
Do you reckon Flanders would just be the same as always? I reckon he probably would be.
Probably would be. I'm going to say Marge is dead.
Yeah. Whatever. Marge was always like, meh.
And Smithers, who is equally old, but he works as a nurse at the nursing center just so that he could look after Mr. Burns.
Or he's taken over the power plant and become the new Burns.
Who would Mr. Burns leave in charge?
He doesn't have anyone other than Smithers.
But it would be funny if he jumped over Smithers and gave it to someone else.
Maybe he's yeah, actually you're right. He's obviously too old to have kids, but he probably at some point froze his sperm.
He's clone of himself.
Yeah, either a clone of himself or he's someone's used, like he's got artificially inseminated someone to get an heir.
Yes. Oh fuck, we got to workshop this more.
And when he artificially inseminates them, he gets twins, and one of them's proper evil Burns, the other one's like more like Ned Flanders. They're exact opposites. One's a hippie who's all into solar power.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Release the hounds. Release the love, man.
And they're and they're both politicians running against each other. So one of them's a Republican, one of them's a Democrat.
Yep. Oh,
and whenever the news guys like try and bring up the history again, we heard that your father was evil. He's his father as well. So what's the Pooh up to? Still working at a convenience store? Nah.
No, because he had like not hundreds of kids. He had like 10 kids, right?
Yeah.
So franchise. He's doing quite well for himself. He's doing quite well for himself because all his kids run franchise mini marts and shit like that.
What about Barney?
It's a pickled liver above the bar. All right. We should wrap this up because I have to go pick up my kid from school in like 10 minutes.
It is.
Right. Well, I'm gonna end it there. The Simpsons should end unless they give it to us, in which case we'd fix it.
Except for the animation, which I can't do.
Yeah, someone else could do that bit. Sorry, where can people find you, Mr. Colin?
Instagram Colin.Gerard92.
And you can find me on Twitter and what's the other one? Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at The Badger's Apprentice, or Badger's Apprentice without the. The music's probably playing now. Bye.
Bye.